Some of the most profound truths aren't found in textbooks, but in stories. And today, from all of us here at the Spiritual Seek, we're diving into a tale that travels across the stars, all to reveal the huge, vast universe that's inside each of us. It's a futuristic quest for a very ancient treasure. So let's start this journey of self-discovery together. Okay, so this is really the heart of the whole story. I mean, think about it. It's a pretty radical idea, right? It's saying that the ultimate prize, the greatest treasure, isn't some distant planet or some amazing cosmic discovery, but something that's already buried deep inside of us. It totally reframes what an adventure can be, turning the whole journey inward. All right, let's set the scene. Picture this. It's the year 3125. Humanity has done the impossible. We've conquered the stars, we've built cities all across the galaxy. But underneath all that shiny technological triumph, there's a problem. A problem that's as old as humanity itself. I mean, just try to imagine having everything you could possibly want. Gleaming starships, incredible cities on brand new worlds. But on the inside, you feel this deep existential hollowness. That's the real conflict here. Despite all their amazing progress, people were just yearning for a real sense of purpose, something eternal that all their fancy tech just couldn't give them. And this is where a really ancient myth gets a complete reboot. You know the old legend of the Philosopher's Stone? It was all about external rewards, turning lead into gold, maybe living forever. But in this future, whoa, they flip the script entirely. The stone isn't some object you go out and find anymore. It's a state you have to achieve. It's a path to figuring out who you truly are and gaining the wisdom to get past your own limits. So every great story needs a main character, right? Let's meet Derix Ardyn. But what's really important to get here is that he's not your typical hero. He's not a warrior. He's not some celebrated explorer. He's a seeker. He represents that quiet part in all of us that's always searching for something more, something deeper than what's just on the surface. So who is this guy, Derix? Well, for starters, he was always an outsider. While everyone else was chasing money and power, he was buried in ancient books looking for wisdom. And then he stumbles upon this mysterious text, the Codex Aeternum. And that's it. It becomes his spark. He sells everything he has for a small ship he calls the Eidolon, and with only his AI for company, he just launches himself into the great unknown. And so the journey is on. And yeah, traveling through deep space is incredibly dangerous, but the story makes one thing clear really fast. The most dangerous place Derix has to navigate isn't out there, in the cosmos. It's inside his own head. Don't get me wrong, the physical dangers were absolutely insane. We're talking about uncharted space, filled with things that can just rip a ship to pieces, gravitational fields that warp reality itself, asteroid storms that could shred a hole in seconds. It was a constant fight just to stay alive. And then, his AI companion, Solis, drops this bombshell of a question. And with that one question, suddenly all those asteroid fields and gravitational anomalies, they don't seem so important. The real struggle is laid bare. It's not about surviving out there. It's about facing what's in here. You gotta understand, for months and months, he's totally alone in the emptiness of space. And he's forced to confront everything he's ever run from. All his past regrets, missed opportunities, friendships he let just drift away. In that crushing silence, his biggest enemy? Well, it ends up being his own mind. This is where the story kinda stops and looks right at us. It's asking us, through Derix's journey, to think about our own lives. When you're really, truly alone with your own thoughts, what are the truths you're trying to avoid? What are you afraid you might find in there? So after 2 long, hard years of solitude and struggle, Derix arrives. He finally reaches the rogue planet, a world just wrapped in eternal darkness. This is it. The answer he sacrificed everything for is waiting for him. He walks into this ancient temple, and there, at its very heart, he finds an empty pedestal. Can you imagine the feeling? After all that, the confusion, the disappointment must have been crushing. But then, the realization starts to dawn on him. The Philosopher's Stone was never an object you find. It was an internal experience waiting to be unlocked. And what happens next is just wow. He has this unbelievable vision. This slide breaks it down so well. He sees his entire life, the good, the bad, the wins, the losses, all at the same time. He gets it. He understands every single choice, and he sees that to become whole, he has to embrace all of it, both his light and his shadow. It's this incredibly powerful moment of self-acceptance, of finally becoming one unified person. Okay, so this brings us to the real takeaway of Derix's entire journey. The story is showing us its most powerful idea, that every single one of us can become our own alchemist. We can all master the true meaning of transformation. This right here, this is the core concept. True alchemy isn't about changing metal, it's about changing yourself. It's all about that inner work of turning your heaviest, densest parts, your fears, your regrets, your ignorance, into your greatest strengths, courage, wisdom, and a true sense of wholeness. And this table just lays it all out so clearly, doesn't it? It shows us the raw materials we all have inside us, our inner lead, and what they can become. Fear gets transmuted into courage, ignorance becomes wisdom, despair turns into hope. And look, this isn't just some fairy tale stuff. This is literally a roadmap for your own growth. It's a guide to actively working with the heaviest parts of yourself to create your own inner gold. So what happens when Derix comes back? Well, his story changes everything. He doesn't bring back some magical rock. He brings back a whole new way of looking at life. His journey starts a revolution, but it's a quiet one, a huge shift in focus from conquering the universe outside to finally understanding the universe within. And so that's what we want to leave you with. Derix found his treasure, not out there in the stars, but by confronting himself. And this story is really an invitation for all of us to do the same, to look inward and to really ask yourself, what is the lead in my life that's just waiting to be transformed?